Hi students, Department of Technical Education, Telangana. My name is T. Rajshekhar, working as a lecturer in Civil Engineering, SRRS Government Polytechnic, Sirsila. Today I am going to teach you the subject of Construction Management and Entrepreneurship. So this is for the Civil Engineering final year 5th semester students. And the subject code is 18C 502. So today we are going to discuss the topic on what are the phases of construction project. So this is a very important topic in the construction management and entrepreneurship. So let us see now what are the phases of construction project are there and how they are implemented. So you can see here the life cycle phases in construction project. So generally we are having step by step procedure. So that is in the construction project were implemented. So let us see now what are the phases were implemented. Here you can see a standard construction project in general has following 5 major life cycle phases. That is, the first one is initiation, okay, and second one is planning, and the third one is execution, and the fourth one is performance and monitoring, and the last one is closure. Okay, so to involve or construct a construction project, we are having these 5 steps are very important in the construction. So wherever the construction project is going on, so these are the phases are running in the companies or in the industries successfully. So one by one step the project should be successfully completed. So let us see now what is the initiation phase wherever in the construction project. So you can see the step by step initiation, planning, execution, performance and monitoring, and closure. So what do you mean by initiation? So whatever the project is there, okay, so that we have to initiate, okay, what is the project, we have to describe it in a brief manner, okay, and how the work should be done we have to describe it, and what are the funds are required for the project work we have to check it. So that is nothing but initiation, okay. The one member who have to come forward and kept anything is nothing but initiation. So the project which is before preliminary planning is taken up by the company or any industry, that is called initiation. And the next is planning, as we have discussed in the previous classes regarding the planning and preliminary planning also. So the planning is in the correct way, then the work also will be running without any disturbance in the constructions in a good manner, okay. So this planning has very long life cycle in the construction industries. This planning is involved by the planning engineers, whether as construction managers or engineers will be involved in the planning. And the next is execution. So after planning, the execution is the another major thing in the construction sites. So who will be the in the execution team? So that also I will be going to explain you now. So in the execution team also we will be having the engineers and supervisors and laborers and project managers in the construction site. So they will be executing the construction works and they will be running the works in the successful. So that is called the execution, okay. And the next is performance and monitoring. So they have to monitor and they have to keep the performance in the construction work, okay. So whether the work is going on in a smooth manner, and they have to check the quality and quantity of the work. So that is regarding the performance. And monitoring means the work is going in a smooth and as per the design requirements and as per the standard specifications the work is going or not, we have to check it. That is called monitoring. So without disturbance or without any accidents, okay, the following the safety rules and guidelines, that is called the monitoring. And the last one is closure. So whatever the project which is started in the initiation state, at a time the project should be completed. So that is called the closure. By closing the project, everything have to be implemented in these 5 phases. Okay. So let us go into from these 5 phases very depthly now. So let us start from one by one initiation. Okay. So let us see now. This is the initiation phase of construction project. So in the initiation phase of construction project, what will be happen? Okay. So here we have some brief theory. We have to create and evaluate the project in order to determine if it is feasible and if it should be undertaken. So what is the saying here? In the initiation phase, that means in the before preliminary planning, we will be preparing the feasibility report. Okay, as we have discussed in the previous classes, in the previous videos also. So the feasibility report is also nothing but approximate the estimate which we have prepared before starting the project. Okay. So we have to create the in the project some guidelines, and we have to evaluate the project in order to determine if it is feasible. Feasible means whether it is useful or not. Okay, whether it is how it will be implemented. Okay, and that it should be undertaken in the initiation itself and at the beginning of the project. So this is the main point here. At the beginning of the project only, we have to evaluate the project whether it will be running successfully or whether it will be getting any problems in the future or in between. That should be in the starting the project in the initiation phase only. Okay, why? Because some of the problems will be occurring after the project is running. In between, the projects will be stopped because of due to lack of financial problems. Okay, and sudden accidents or any company losses. Okay, or any strikes. So these types of problems will be occurred at the between the project. So in order to utilize and running successfully in the initiation phase on itself only, we have to find out the everything in the problems. Okay, and next here you can see here the project objective or need is identified. So that means the project which is there, so the need should be identified whether the project is useful for the public or not, and this can be a business problem or opportunity. So obviously whether it is a business problem or opportunity, when in the initiation phase itself only we have to identify. Okay, and a suitable response to the need is documented in a business case with recommended solution options. A feasibility study is conducted to examine whether each option clearly identifies the project, okay, objective, and a final recommended solution is determined. So that means while we preparing the a feasibility study report, from that only we have to identify the whether it is useful for the business case or with the any other documented is suitable for the project, that we have to clearly identify. Okay, that means we have to recheck the all the files and drawings which are starting before the project. Okay, so we have to examine clearly when the project was started, and if any problems will occurs, that should be recommended by the solution. Okay, so here in the many questions related to the issues of feasibility. So this is the questions we will be arising. So what are the questions means? Can we do the project? So this is the first question. And justification like should we do the project. So here is the difference between these two things. So here I am asking you, can we do the project if any project starts? Not like that, but we have to identify that should we do the project. Should we do the project is nothing but whether this project is required or not required. So that is the difference between the two words. Okay. So it is depending upon the concerned companies and construction works. Okay, and they are mentioned. Okay, they are mentioned and faced. Should we do the project should mention or face. So when a solution is approved, that means when you get an answer, a project is initiated to implement the approved solution. So that means for this a project manager is appointed. So for every construction project, the project manager will be there. So he is the boss of the project site. So he will be under the in charge of the construction site, and he will be reporting to the general manager of the site. Okay, so this project manager will be looking to the whole site will be is under control. So he will be maintaining the site, what are the materials are required, and what are the uh, problems are in the construction site, and how many staff members are there in the construction site, and how many labors are coming, what are their wages, and how to implement and the future response of the company, and he should be communicate with the contractors also. Okay, so their wages and bargaining schedules, so everything and machineries quality control he should be look after in the project manager. So here for every project manager in the construction is the key role plays in the company. So these project manager should have well experience in the construction projects, because a minimum he should have 5 years or 10 to years experience in the constructions. So then only he will becoming a project manager. Okay, so he should be capable to maintain all the works, and he should be able to control the each and every person in the site. Okay, and at this stage the major deliverables and the participating work groups are identified. So when the initiation phase itself only you can identify so many problems and regarding financial or any strikes or any problems or any labor problems. Okay, or any health problems to the workers. Okay, or any land issue problems. So everything will be we will be identified in the initiation phase only. Okay, so that's why, so to all these problems to solve, a project manager will be appointed in the initiation phase itself only. And this is the time when the project team begins to take shape. Approval is then required by the project manager to move on to the detailed planning phase. So he is the in charge of the construction site. So with the help of project manager only, the planning will be started. So what to do in the future works, just like today's work and tomorrow work should be planned with the help of project manager. So for this a planning engineering will be there, a planning department will be there. So they will be seeing the drawings and preparing the planning statutes, and they will be identifying the what are the works should be done in the initiation phase of the construction project. So this is the main important thing for the every construction project in the initiation itself only. Okay, so they have to remember the things. So how to uh, solve the problems if any occurs, or how to uh, do the project, or can we do the project, or should we do the project should be identified. So the justification should be done. Okay, so this is the initiation phase, and the next one is planning phase of construction project. So in the planning phase of construction project, so after the initiation, so when the project starts in the initiation phase, so the next we have to do the planning. So the planning phase involves further development of the project in detail to meet the project's objective. So in the planning, we have discussed regarding the preliminary planning and planning also. So in the planning, what are the works should be done? We have to plan it in the project's objective. So here the team identifies all of the work to be done. So the planning department which is there in the construction work, construction site, okay. So the planning members who are there, so they will be identified the each and every type of work, and they will be uh, planned when the work should be done, okay, within the time. And the project tasks and resource requirements are identified along with the strategy for producing them. So in the project task, they will be identifying the what are the requirements and resources are required with the help of the work. So they will be keeping a task. So today the concrete should be completed. Today the reinforcement work should be completed. So today at least 10 columns should be completed. So they will be planning the all the daily and daily up to the 1 month planning will be done. So if any disturbances occur or any uh, sudden due to disturbance will occur, so what the disturbance they should be write in the remarks also. Okay, so these types of all will be recorded in the planning. And next you can see here, with the help of this planning phase only, moreover the constructions are running in a successful manner. So in a broader sense, identification of each activity as well as the resource allocation is also carried out. So that means here in a broader sense, identification of each activity. So this is very important. So here the activities which are there, the resources are also carried out. Okay. So a project plan outlining the activities, tasks, dependencies and time frames is created. So the time frames means how what is the a bar chart will be there. So this will be discussing in the upcoming chapter. So in the planning phase they will be keeping the number of days and the time also. Okay. So by keeping the time and date, the day, at what day the work should be done, and within the how much time the work should be completed, they will be planned. Okay, so this is given just like activities per day. Okay, and this will be looked after by the project manager. The project manager is the one who coordinates the preparation of a project budget by providing cost estimates for the labor, equipment and materials cost. So the site in charge is the main person, that is project manager. So whatever the materials or labor or equipment are required, so he should be keep the proposal to the company, and he should be brought to the materials or equipments and labor to the site to run the successful completion of project work. Okay, so he will be the giving the assurance to the company whatever the work is going in the construction site. So this is mainly carried out by project scheduling software like MS Project or Primavera. So nowadays we are using the MS Project or Primavera software. So it is just like a CAD software, AutoCAD software. So in this software, automatically we will be identifying the what are the works to be done and what are the scheduling should be done day by day. So this will be entered in this MS project or Primavera version. Okay. So it will be showing the details what the work should be done daily and how much percentage of work should be completed in the software. So here this scheduling, these scheduling starts would help us to track the stages of our project as time passes. So this is also referred to as scope management. So what we will call it is scope management, because with the help of this software MS Project or Primavera, we can see directly in the software how much work was completed up to date. So this shows the scheduling the charts helps to the stages of our project as time passes. So for every project they will have a certain period of time. So within how much time the project is completed and what is the status of the project. that can be known by the MS project or Paramevera. It is settled by the planning engineer. So this is also called as scope management. And the next is the budget of the project already estimated is used to monitor and control cost expenditures during project implementation. So these also implemented during the project estimation. That is, in the preliminary estimation, we will be identifying the how much amount of the project will be done. So that is nothing but the cost control expenditures will be implemented in the project running. So finally, you can see the scope management. We require a document to show the quality plan, providing quality targets, assurance and control measures along with an acceptance plan listing the criteria to be met to gain customer acceptance. So at this point, the project would have been planned in detail and is ready to be executed. So for every project, to start the project, we should be planned compulsory. So before planning only the project can be started. So what is the project is nothing but in the project whatever it is the structure. So we have to plan before compulsory how to keep the project in a successful way within a time completion, the customer acceptance. Okay, the project will be planned in the detail, so then only we can do the execution. So otherwise without proper planning you cannot do any work. Okay, so the planning is the second one in the phases of construction project. So this is carried out by the planning department in the construction sites. And the next is execution phase of construction projects. So this is another thing. This is our main thing we are implementing in the execution phase. So at the initiation and planning, the engineers will be different, but in the execution phase, our civil side engineers will be there. So they are the main major role playing in the construction sites. So with this, execution phase is the main of the construction work. So how it is implemented means this is the implementation phase. So obviously the execution phase is also called implementation. That means the construction work will be started and it will be running in a successful way. That is called execution. Concrete work is there. So before concrete, what we have to do? Reinforcement work. That means whether it is, suppose you see the example, a footing is there. So for the footing, what we have to do? First one, earthwork excavation. Okay, earthwork excavation we have to do and remove the soil. That is called execution. And after that, we have to keep the steel reinforcement mat, tying the steel reinforcement mat and keeping the formwork. Okay, we will also call shuttering materials, the cardboards, and okay. So that is called execution phase. And after that, we have to pour the concrete. So the pouring the concrete and keeping the vibrating needle is, it is also called execution. Like this, whatever the work is running, whatever the work is implementing in the construction sites, that is called execution. So who will execute this one? Execution means the whoever the supervisors, the site engineer or senior engineer or super engineers which are there. So they will be implementing the project, and where the project plan is put into the motion and the work of the project is performed practically on site. So this is just what I have said now. So whatever the practically which is running in the works is called the execution phase. And here it is essential to maintain control and communicate as needed during each implementation stages. So we cannot communicate in the each and implementation stages, but the progress of the work should be done compulsory. Okay, so progress should be continuously monitored and appropriate adjustments are made and recorded as variances from the original plan. So from the original plan, if any mistakes or grievances are there, so they will be recorded and they will be adjusted, adjustments will be done from the original plan. Okay, so for that, if any problems are occurred, here a project manager will be there to solve the problem, and a project manager is the one who spends most of the time in this step. So here in the execution phase from the starting to ending. That means in the day wise from morning to evening, a project manager should be there in the site. He should be looks the site what is the work is going on, okay, until the completion of work, so that throughout the project implementation people carry out the tasks and progress information is being reported through regular project team meetings. So in the execution phase we will have the meetings also. So the project manager will be conducting the daily meetings or weekly meetings, so regarding the progress of the work, how much status of work is completed. So because he should be informed to the his higher authorities also, okay. So day by day we will have the daily progress reports and weekly progress reports through sending the emails to the higher authorities, and this project manager uses this information to preserve control over the direction of the project by comparing the progress reports with the project plan to measure the performance of the project activities. So he will be comparing the with the some of the projects or any other side projects. So what is the status report he will be known, okay, and if any deviation is found from the already defined plan, corrective measures are made. So from the actual original plan, if any deviations are occurred, he will be uh, making the recorrection or any redrawing the diagrams will be done in the diagrams. And the first option of action should always be to bring the project back to the original plan. Okay. So if any problems occurred or any damages happened in the site, as per the original plan, we have to bring the project back. So that is the initiative taken by the project manager. And here, if that cannot happen, okay, if that cannot happen, the team should record variations from the original plan and record and publish modifications to the plan. So if anything happen, so the as per the original plan the project is not implemented, so they have to record the variations from the original plan and record everything, publish modifications to the plan. So they have to recorrect what are the problems were occurred in the plan, that should be published modifications, okay. all through all through this step, project sponsors and other key stakeholders are kept informed about the project status as per the agreed rate and format of communication. So, for this, the project investors who are there, the key stakeholders are they kept informed the project status as per the agreed rate. Okay, the contractors, the business persons who are involved in the construction project, they will be knowing the status of the project also. Okay, so that they can be getting the profits or any losses. So the sponsors who are there regarding the construction projects also will be implemented. And next here you can see the plan should be updated and available on a regular basis. Status reports should always highlight the probable endpoint in terms of cost, schedule, and quality of deliverables. So each project deliverable produced should be reviewed for quality and measured against the acceptance criteria. So when deliverables have been producer and the customer has agreed on the final solution, the project is said to be ready for closure. So the customer is satisfactory with the help of the execution phase. Suppose you take an example, a house plan is there. So as a house plan was drawn by the engineer and he will be executed to the site. Okay. In the site he will be implementing this building as per our original plan. So if any grievances or any mistakes were happened, so we can rectify from the original plan. So that is nothing but the customer satisfaction should be there before in the closure of the project. So that all everything should be done in the execution phase only. Okay. So that is nothing but the each project should be developable with the good status report. So this execution phase is a very important phase. All the engineers or supervisors or contractors or laborers will be doing the work in the construction sites only. The execution phase will be developed. So the next thing is the fourth one. performance and monitoring phase of construction project. So first the initiation was completed. So in the initiation we have identifying the project, whether when can we do or not, or when shall we start the project or not. These type of questions will be occurred in the initiation. Okay. If any problems arises also we have to rectify it in the initiation phase. And the next we have to think regarding the project, whether it is successful running or not. Okay, planning and how the project should be done. And next we have to, if the planning is done, the execution will be running successfully or not. So that also should be developed. So the next is performance and monitoring. This is the output. Okay, so this performance and monitoring phase of output is very. So actually in the construction side, the persons who will be there in the execution phase means you can see the project manager will be there. Okay, you can see in the left I'm writing, and after project manager is under the senior engineer will be there. Okay, and at the senior engineer down there will be another assistant engineer will be there, and after the assistant engineer the site engineer will be there. Okay, and of the site engineer you will have supervisors, and at the supervisors we will have labor. So this is a flow chart. The persons will be there through from project manager to labor. Everyone will be in the execution team. So this is a monitoring sheet which is used in the construction sites. Okay. So the project manager is the head of the boss of the construction site. After that, the senior engineer who is there, he will be well experienced for supporting the project manager. So from the senior engineer, the assistant engineer will be there for the helpful of the senior engineer. And from assistant engineer, a site engineer will be there. He will be a part of a diploma graduate or any well-known technical person. And next the supervisor will be there. He will be also a skilled person. He will be monitoring the labor and he will be executing the labor works from this contractor. Okay, and the last one is the labor. The persons who are working in the sites, they are called as workers or laborers. Okay, so they will be working on daily wages or any monthly works or anything. Okay, so now in the performance you can see this stage is all related to the measurement of progress and performance to make sure that items are tracking with the project management scheduling. So whatever the scheduling has done in the planning, okay, so the performance of the project is very important. So the performance means what is the quality they are doing, what are the quality materials they are in, whether they are using the first class or second class or third class materials. Okay, and as per the design standards, IS Indian standards they are using or not, and whether the steel structural materials they are using as per the diagrams or not, they are following the diagrams as per the design or not. So everything is looks under the performance. So the quality of water, whether it is good or bad. Okay, the quality of cement, whether it is first class or 43 grade or 53 grade, they have to check it. And the workers working also should be checked, the performance is very good or not. And the engineer's performance also will be monitored by the project manager. So okay, so these, when the performance is good, the project will be running in a smooth manner and very fastly work. Okay, so that will be done in the scheduling, and this phase regularly happens at the same time at the execution phase. So when the execution of work is going on, so we have to look after the performance of the work also, and then the monitoring also will be done. Monitoring means observing. Okay, performance means when the work is done you will know the quality of the work, that is called performance. Okay, monitoring means the way of working, how the work is going on, whether within the time the work is going on, whether any discrepancies are occurring, whether any problems are occurring from the engineers or any labor or any construction site or any accidents. Okay, So the monitoring should be kept very correctly. So this is the when the performance and monitoring will be done. Okay, and the fifth one is last one, that is closure phase of construction project. So after the performance and monitoring of the project, then the next is closure. So after the all satisfactories of the four stages, the final stage is during the final closure. The importance is on providing the final deliverables to the customer, that is handing over project documentation to the business. So that means a contract between a owner and a contractor. Okay, so the agreement which is finished between the project, they should be cancelled. The project is completed and the customer should be satisfied with all the designs and all the materials with the quality, and the project is established. So if the project is successful, completed within the time and hand over to the business person or any customer, so it will be very good and very feedback will be given. And here the next is termination of supplier contracts. So after the project is completed, we have to cancel all the supplier contracts with the person. Otherwise, it will be running like that only. It will be creating the problem. Okay. So whatever the project is completed, we have to terminate the supplier contracts. And next, we have to releasing project resources. So when the project is started, okay, so the what are the resources uses from the project, it should be released. Okay, whether it is school building, if it is starts, so we have to open it to the school childrens and the admissions will be done. Whether it is a hospital, so hospital should be open and the people's patients will be coming on. So like that, whatever the project is there, it should be successfully completed on time and the resources should be released. And next is communicate the closure of the project to all stakeholders. So the stakeholders are nothing but investment business persons. They will be implementing in the businesses. After the completion of the project, they have to close the project with the details. Okay, so that is nothing but the stakeholders. And the next is the last and final is to conduct lessons learned studies to examine what went well and what didn't. Okay, so after all the completion of project, we have to check it what are the problems have occurred at the starting from initiation to the final closure, and how much losses are appeared, and how what are the problems were occurred. Everything we have to uh, determine and we have to reconsider, so that if any other new projects are coming on, so we can be identified or we can learn from the previous projects. Okay, so in the closure of phase of construction projects, these are the main important points. So for every construction project, we are having these type of phases. So the first one is initiation, second one is planning, okay, and the third one is, you can see, execution phase. So this is a very important phase. As we see now, who will be there in the execution phase? The project manager. Okay, and the next is performance and monitoring. So the performance should be there, because work is going on means not like that, but we have to get speedy work and the progress of the work also. Okay, and the next one is, you can see, monitoring. Who will be monitored? The project manager will be monitoring, or senior engineer will be monitoring. And the next is closure of the project. So after successful completion of the project, within the time, okay, within the time the project when is completed, then we have to close the project. Okay, by handovering the all the documents to the concerned person. Okay, and what are the agreements made between both of the uh, that is nothing but between the contractor and the owner. So okay, everything you have to check it, and you have to re check the all the documents, and you have to close the site. Okay, so before starting the project, these are the construction phases are very important. So every civil engineer should remember initiation, planning, performance and monitoring, okay, execution, and closure phase of project. So if these phases were successfully running in the constructions, there will be no problems in the construction companies. Okay, so I hope you understand everyone this phases of construction. So thank you. So keep these topics in the mind. Okay, initiation, planning, execution, performance and maintenance. Okay, thank you. Have a nice day.